Hey everyone, it's fine. I'm checking out Innkeeper Alpha 2. This is part of the AGDG Demo Day 24, and this is a game that I did play previously, an earlier version of it. It's been in development for quite a while, and I actually really liked the last demo. Um, from what I recall, I think there was some quirks with the UI that I felt was a little uncomfortable maybe, and apart from that, the big thing with my experience the last time, as I recall anyways, was it's a number of bugs that kind of cut in the way of the experience. So um, I am eager to see how the latest version will play. So we're going to give that a shot. Let's go ahead and get rid of that overlay. Let's jump right into this. Now this is kind of where the game starts. It's been running here for a little bit. I will note that I think you start like right here, but the Alt key is bound to roll, as you can see on this right here. This nice little billboard type thing. And as you can imagine, I use Alt Tab to do window switching in Windows. So like when I launched the game, I ended up like hitting Alt a few times and kind of rolling in the game just from switching windows, not even trying to play the game. So I tend to recommend people not use the Alt key or avoid using the Alt key, especially for defaults. You know, if people want to set their own key bindings to use the Alt key or whatever, then they can do that generally. But yeah, I find that a little annoying, but it's not a big deal in this case. Luckily, I didn't like fall off this ledge or anything. I don't remember this ledge being here last game. I guess this is kind of a tutorial area. I don't know if time is passing or anything, but so we've got movement. Space is to jump. Roll is Alt or Control. I kind of feel like for a roll move, I'd probably prefer that to be on Shift personally. It seems like it's a lot more comfortable. I usually use, like if I'm playing a shooter or something, I use Control for crouch is pretty standard. Usually the Shift key is for running or dashing or things like that, so it seems like that would be more intuitive. I don't see any way. Let's try the Escape key. Alright, so options, this looks like it's all placeholder right now. Just gonna see if there's like key binding or anything. So there's a guy right here. I guess E is to talk. Your hero, thank the heavens. I know this is your first day of work, but I will be going away for some time, so we can still... Okay, so the area you have to be in to talk to him is a little small, and it also, as soon as you leave it, he stops talking. So, this seems like the kind of thing where it would probably be cozier if he would just... maybe you could just make the area that... What I would probably do is the area to talk to them would be kind of smallish like this, but then the area that triggers it to stop talking would be like a lot larger. So you could kind of move around a bit and then the conversation would kind of continue. But like obviously if I'm off here, then it would make sense to quit it. But the fact that you can move around while talking, but it doesn't like let you do that without canceling the conversation kind of defeats the purpose in some sense. I mean, I guess you don't have to finish the conversation, you can just leave, but that might be a nice thing to do. First day of work, but I will be going away for some time, and I must entrust you with the care of my inn. Well, first I need to make sure you aren't a complete moron like my last heir. Did I say heir? Oh, criminy. We'll talk about that later. I'm about to teach you everything you need to know about running an inn. Be sharp and pay attention, because I will not repeat myself. Take my scythe. You can cut grass with it. Try it out, but not near me. Meet me over yonder once you've gotten the hang of it. Alright, E to grab the scythe, swing to cut grass and plants, hold the input to cut in a wider arc upon release. Can also be used as a weapon. So, it doesn't say what button is swing. Okay, down here it says mouse left, so I didn't know I was using the mouse yet, but I guess we're using the mouse. And it says shift for advanced info. Kind of hidden down here, but removing a plant with a scythe will yield nothing. Interesting. Alright, so... just check my recording settings here real quick. Looks like we're good. So Okay, so it does root you for a minute when you use the scythe. So you're kind of stuck in place for about a second. The audio is actually really annoying. It actually sounds like it might be the listener for the audio might be attached to the player character instead of to the camera, which is something I advise against, because it seems like when I do it to the right, I can hear it almost entirely in the right ear of my headphones. It's the opposite for doing it on the left, so that makes it really irritating on the ears to do that. And it's also really unnatural to attach a listener to the player character instead of the actual camera, which is your view into the game. So if that is the case, I'd recommend doing that. But I also I don't really like how long it roots your feet when you use the scythe. It just doesn't feel very good in my opinion. It's just a lot of time you're just waiting for it to stop doing its thing. It's not exactly an action game, but that doesn't mean it's not kind of, in a very small way, wasting your time if it just kind of takes a long time for no reason. Inventory navigation looks like mouse wheel. I'm guessing, I don't know if these are the actual arrow keys or if it's just pointing up and down. Like these look like just arrows, I guess. But these look like arrow keys. I probably don't have any items yet, so I guess we have to talk to this guy first. There's categories, mouse 4 and mouse 5, so if you have those. Also, I guess the 1 and 2 keys and the left and right. Oh, I can actually, alright, so that's the left and right keys. Okay, so I do have mouse 4 and 5 on my mouse. Obviously, a lot of people aren't going to have that, because those aren't standard. So in their case, they will need to use, they gotta, take their hand completely off the mouse to use the arrow keys, or their left hand. I guess that they want to use that either way. It's kind of a little bit of an annoyance, I would say. I wonder if you can, right, you still can't click to interact with any of this, which I think is a little unfortunate because, like I mentioned last time, it really looks like, this whole UI looks like you could just click on this. Which might make this a lot more intuitive. You need to know how to grow food. Now till the soil with your hoe. Oh, I haven't given it to you yet. Here, you may need to cut some grass before you can till the soil, try it out, and then come meet me by the water. All this walking is making me thirsty. Grab the hoe. So, scythe hoe. Alright, so we have to aim with our body. We can't use the mouse. It's one of those things where so the mouse is used in the game, but apparently it's only for like certain things. Like obviously this is items and stuff, and from what I recall, it's for like throwing and stuff. It might be more consistent if you use the mouse for like aiming, these sorts of things. It doesn't seem like it's tied to a grid or anything, but obviously, like I can't hoe over here when I'm standing here, but what you can do is have the thing point in the direction that the mouse is. Just keep it, close to the character, obviously. That might make it a little more consistent. Because it does feel a little weird when you're using like WASD and mouse, but you're still aiming things with your body. And in this case, you can only do directly left and right, so I wonder... I mean, obviously, if you're doing it upwards, you probably can't see it as well, so I'm assuming that's kind of the idea. But, I don't know, I would be curious how it would feel if you could just do it in any direction, using the mouse for kind of the direction of it. And if for some reason that doesn't work well, you could also have it still have it only work on the left and right, but you could kind of use the mouse for that maybe. It might just feel a little different, I don't know. But that's what I would be interested in. So it says tilde key is for toggle auto grab, which I didn't even notice this yet. I don't know what that means yet. Maybe he'll tell me, but I'm thinking maybe it's like for picking up stuff that falls or something. Swing to create a mound on flat soil so that food item can be planted. It can also be used as a weapon. Alright. So here's a mound. And then what is MR? Middle. Wait, MR? So this also roots your feet for like a long time. Remove mouse right. Oh, okay. I don't know if I've ever heard of the right mouse button referred to as MR. So again, the audio is really annoying. It's coming entirely from the left channel. It's one of those things for whatever reason. I mean, I kind of understand the reason, but if you have a sound effect that's coming like entirely from into your left or right ear, then it can be really annoying because it's very unnatural, because we usually hear things with both ears. So it actually gives me a little bit of a headache after a while. Harvest these plants and pick up the items you can. Plant food items to grow more food. Imagine that. Plants grow fastest if you water them daily. Oh, what did he just do? Take my watering can. I'll not be needing that where I'm going. Stand in the water to fill it. Now hurry up. Don't stand around waiting for your plants to grow. I don't have time for that nonsense. Alright, so I just picked it up. Looks like there's no water sound effects, unfortunately, but the visuals are nice. Okay, so he says harvest these with E, apparently. Alright, so to grab it, we have to press E, and then this is what this wasn't explained, but obviously it's here on a big billboard, so tilde key to auto grab. That seems to work pretty well. Alright, so it looks like it's the area kind of in front of you more than behind you, so that's interesting. Like, I'm not sure if that's entirely necessary, but in some physical sense it seems reasonable. Alright, so we have a watering can. These are the tools, so in order to do... Right. So this is the mouse 4 button I'm using to change categories. I don't remember what the buttons used were last time. I remember this layout was kind of the same and this everything. So this is all a bit... Visually, I find it a little confusing to look at, but I think at least having it right there on my mouse, it's kind of nice. I can play, oh, mouse right button. So this, all right, so this is one of these things where like I can aim to throw it or I can plant it. So if I just left click, it's just gonna throw it. So that's interesting. Okay, so we planted it, but there's also no visual indication that anything is planted here. Seems really obvious to point out, but that's kind of what you would expect because you can't. The only way I can tell that anything is planted here right now is the fact that it doesn't let me plant something else. So, alright, so that's... See, that feels very snappy and easy compared to like using the tools, like the hoe and the shovel, where it just kind of roots your feet for a long time. This is like really snappy, so it's kind of a bit of a disjoint there. Targeting. Tab is for auto, hold for manual. On target is Q. Hover target requires valid item. Manual targeting on the stick there. I remember last time I used both control methods, and I think if I remember, like there's some things I liked about both, but I'm sure there's probably some differences now. Vegetables are easy to grow, but they aren't worth much money. You'll have to obtain some meat to really bring home the bacon. Give fishing a try, cast your line and wait for a bite. When a fish nibbles, quickly reel it in. Once it's out of the water, you can take off your hook. I'll tell you how to cook it in the next room. Alright, so I threw a spud. So it's not really clear how to like cancel the... Oh. Okay. Not really clear how to like cancel the dialogue when you get to the end. It just kind of lingers there for a second, and I feel like I need to like hit a key or something, but I usually end up you know, throwing a potato or something instead. And I think this is different. I think before it showed this kind of arc, just wherever you pointed it. And now it's only showing when you target a player, or not a player, but a character. So that's interesting. Now, did he give me a fishing rod, fishing pole? Cast line into water and wait for a fish to bite. Quickly reel in fish before it escapes, and then alternate ways to fish. Kick them or throw items at them. That's fun. Okay. So how do we reel? We just right click? It says cancel mouse right, but maybe we can only reel when a fish grabs it. It looks like we just click over and over again. They can grab it. So, I mean, I don't think it was mentioned explicitly how to like reel in the thing or anything like that. So that's one thing that might be worth pointing out. The other thing is that, like, you can't, like I mentioned just a moment ago, you can't reel it in until a fish grabs it. So if you're just trying to figure out like how this works, it's sort of, I think it's disadvantageous because there's kind of an expectation that, you know, you cast a rod and then you reel it back in. That's like the only way in the real world to get the thing reeled in again is to reel it in. So to not be able to reel it is kind of awkward in that sense. So I think it would make intuitive sense if you could reel it even when a fish isn't attached. So I can't talk with these people. Action inputs are color-coded and labeled. Pay attention when there are multiple inputs available. Interact, item primary, item secondary. Interact, item primary. Okay, well that's hard to remember. I forgot what these people ordered. I suppose anything we'll have to do for now. People won't like it if you give them the wrong food or food that is badly cooked. But don't worry about that for today. I'll smack these dorks around if they give you any trouble. After all, it's my last day, so what do I care? Put an item on the cooktop and then take it off after some time. Cooking an item to okay quality is easy, but you'll have to discover the better qualities yourself. Better qualities yield higher tips if your customers have any sense. That's enough about cooking. You're going to have to tidy this place up. Swing your broom at the dirt. That'll clean it real good. Here you go. Wait, did I pick up? Oh, I picked. Oh, okay, I think it's because I have the auto grab enabled, which is this. So I couldn't really see that it happened. It was only kind of through the dialogue that I could tell that I even picked this up in this situation. So it might be worth putting some kind of a pop-up or something that shows like item received or whatever. Something that just pops up, like animated preferably, so it kind of grabs your attention a little bit and might say like broom received or something. And maybe you could just do that for anything that you grab. Also for, you know, consistency's sake. So if I pick up like 5 spuds, then it would just kind of pop up and say like spud X5 or something. There's a little mirror here. That's cute. Change appearance. So it's a little weird that I kind of came over here and he said he was going to teach me how to cook, and then he gave me a broom instead. It's almost kind of feels something weirdly inconsistent about that, but especially since he explained how like the stuff about cooking right before giving me the broom. So it seems a little backwards. I think it would make more sense if he came over here and he said, okay, before we can teach you how to cook, you have to clean up, and then he taught me how to clean up, and then he started talking about cooking after I was done with this. Because it doesn't make sense to give players information that is kind of out of context like that. Like you have to give it to them right when they're going to use it. Some debug buttons enabled during this tutorial. They spawn items. All right. I'm not going to remember all those, but tip, hold shift or right trigger and interact with yourself to drop items. Right. during this tutorial. Okay, so once I leave the tutorial, this stuff shouldn't be active, presumably. So F key did it not work? Did it just go right into my inventory? Oh yeah, see, it's another thing where I can't tell that stuff is getting picked up here. If I turn off auto grab, then oh, it's still just going straight into my inventory in this case. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so I'm not going to screw with that too much, but auto grab back on. Combine. Oh, and I have to press E to grab it. So what's... Oh, okay, so this is... I think last time it didn't put the little time counter on it, so you had to kind of guess or like count in your head or something. So I cooked. So it looked like I got a short sword. Oh, I just... See, I forgot about the... I just noticed in my inventory here, the watering can. So apparently this is supposed to... What is it? Does it not click to use? Oh, I have to fill it up first. Oh, it just fills. Okay. And then... Okay. Right, so this is kind of silly because generally in tutorials like this, they actually have kind of a sort of a success condition. Like you have to actually do the thing successfully before you can continue on, which in this case didn't happen, so I never actually completed all the actions that I was supposed to do to actually learn what I was doing. So that might be worth considering. But I don't know if these are growing or anything. It's kind of weird the way they just stay that way. But yeah, so I cooked one of these, but is this the cooked one? Okay. Okay, it's got an... This one has an X on its eye. So that kind of says it's cooked, I guess, but... Alright, this says alive. Okay, alive, and this one is raw. So it's dead, but it's not cooked. So that's cool how there's a little bit of relevant information on it's kind of intuitive that the X, or the open eye, you can tell it's alive or it's dead, that kind of thing. This is apparently the cooked one, so... It's really cool the way that works, actually. Yeah, so I was confused because it wasn't immediately obvious to me that that wasn't just the coloration of the fish. Like if I cook this, I guess we want to cook it to like 14 seconds to make it ideal. Right, so like looking at that, it is kind of a darkish color, but it's also not, like especially as a new player, like I don't know that the fish doesn't just look like that. The only way I kind of figured it out was because I kind of scrolled down and this one had the same name, but it looks different, so... maybe in the name itself you could put like cooked or something. Cooked tigerfish. I just make you eat a spud. Raw. That's funny. Alright. Plantable looks like just over 8 seconds is good. Did the number change color? Oh, I think the number changed color to match this. So that's kind of cool, actually. Okay. So if you have like a million things, like if you're cooking like 6 different things or something and you can kind of see the color on the numbers, that might be, in some situations, someday, that might end up being useful. Especially if you start seeing like the black, the black numbers showing up, and you're like, oh crap. Got this here. So I remember this interface is pretty awkward. It looks like it has a lot of randomizations and stuff, so. Updo, strands, bangs. Right. New game. Start a new game with this character. Okay, so I think he's gonna tell me something, and then I'm gonna have to go here to go to new game for some reason. Well, I guess it makes sense because you want to set up your character before you start. Doing all right, kiddo. You may be good enough to. That was not the right button. Didn't I turn that off? Oh, okay. Doing all right, kiddo. You may be good enough to hold this place together while I'm gone, although I don't suppose I will be returning anytime soon. Sigh. The truth is I'm going to be taken away tomorrow, and if I don't name an heir, my precious inn will be seized. The king in yonder kingdom demands tribute, and I can't pay it. I'd rather leave my inn in the care of a stranger than that doofus, so I hereby name you my heir. That means you're going to have to pay the tribute. Oh. Okay, and I fear it will continue to increase. Things aren't right in the world, but there is still hope. You'll meet many adventurers passing by and looking for work. Most of them will be total dopes, fit only for menial tasks, but there are others who are destined for greatness. You'll know those when you see them. You, on the other hand, look like hot garbage. To be honest, I can't even tell if you're a boy or a girl. Why don't you go fix yourself up in the mirror over there? According to the user manual, you can start a new game at the mirror. I don't know what that means. I suppose it's time for me to hit the hay, as they say. Please give my inn all the love and care you're capable of. I hope that's enough. Alright. Okay, does nothing. It's quite funny. Week 1, day 1. Alright, this looks a little awkward. I guess that's, ooh, what the heck? Did I just walk off of this? How do I go back up there? Oh, I can walk up here. Okay. So I guess this is the roof. Yeah, this looks pretty weird, but, you know, maybe it's just kind of placeholder. The tutorial zone. It says calendar, but okay. Bed, sleep. It says it's paused. Change appearance. And yeah, this geometry is kind of getting funky. It's covering most of the screen here. Probably less than preferable. Gold female model. We got cotton, fleece. I don't know what this stuff is for right now. Some kind of crafting stuff. Grab dust bunny. You're mine. Is that a dust bunny? Just a rat. Some dirt here. Spider up there. I don't think I have like any. Oh, I have stuff. I have a bunch of tools to start with. Okay, so I already have the broom and everything. Oh. Oh. Oh, I was gonna say. So it's weird that you can just walk out onto the roof through the wall like that, and you can walk back in that way also. So yeah, that's kind of annoying that I have to aim with my body, like with this. I can't just click on this, even though like the click, that's the big thing, the fact that it's actually using the left mouse button, but I have to aim with my body still, instead of just using the mouse. It's kind of annoying. So it's clean. But yeah, I don't really know. It just seems like there should be some kind of indication that you can walk back in here. Apparently you can just change rooms like this, so that's some kind of a strat, I don't know. Oh, you can just kind of run around and click, it just kind of whaps everything around you. There was a thing here. Transitions are maybe a little slow, especially because there's so much geometry blocking your view while it's happening. It's a little bit annoying. Can I just, okay, I can just walk out through the walls. You can just walk through all the walls in this game, I guess. Well, we can't walk through this one. Check the crates for items. We got some food here. How do we, okay, we just click on it. Now, if there's a stack of them, you have to click a lot. I don't know if there's a shortcut key. for that, but all right, so this roof is getting a little in the way here. You know, it's kind of, it does eventually shift the camera for you, but, and this is, okay, I guess that's a door. It's hard to see it though, so, or tell that it's a door for that matter. So it's kind of interesting. Obviously the transitions are pretty neat, but it seems like there can definitely be some more work with just getting a lot of this geometry out of the way. It's just kind of blocking the view a lot. I think these are the burners. Oh, I can... So this is kind of... it's really squeezed at the top of the screen here. So it's kind of like... generally just sort of a design concept is you don't push stuff to the very extremes of the screen, especially if it's stuff that's important to look at. So I feel like that should be down a little lower here. Demo tips, not trips. Order visuals are a work in progress. I think a lot of the visuals are. This graphic, is it this? Indicates that a customer ordered the exact thing you're holding. Wait, what is this then? That's a different thing, right? I don't know what this is. Is that money or something? Or... oh, you can cook the rat. Okay, so it does... this has a spud thing, but it... if I select the spud down here, this moves to the right slightly. So that's confusing. I don't know what's going on up there, but it does say this is work in progress, but even so, I don't know. A list on the left of your screen shows the open orders. Customers can only order items you put on your menu. Do not combine items unless the order calls for it. Okay. So there are customers here now. Okay, these are all... okay. That's what they're talking about. And this guy's ticked off. So they just want raw spuds, and then they want cooked spuds, right? That is a door. I feel like the last time I played this, it had like doors that looked like doors, and these kind of don't. So that's interesting. I guess it's just reworking some stuff. Just have to get over 6 seconds. Oh, did I just... oh no. Oh, I just cooked the dust ball. Okay. So yeah, is that edible? It's very strange. But yeah, as you can see, I tried to put one on this burner and ended up picking up the other one on accident. Did I? Okay, I guess I only cooked 2 of them. And that was another thing. I was kind of trying to do it with my mouse cursor again, and I couldn't. So that would be a thing I would consider for this. Again, it makes sense. It has to be like close enough to your character, but it just feels a lot more intuitive to be able to aim things with the mouse, especially when you're using the mouse button. Because it's, you know, just kind of a rule of thumb that the mouse buttons are kind of almost inherently linked to the cursor, you know. It's kind of just the way that mouse controls work. Oh, right, there's all these people that want stuff here, so stop. Eat. That guy's really ticked off. Alright, I don't know which room he went in. This one looks pretty... okay, where's my broom? Get that spider. What? Oh, this thing is still showing here. That's kind of silly. Is this? I guess I can drop down. Oh, I don't think that's working quite right. Well, I guess I'm down here. Get a sword here. All right, so the E key opens the crate, but it doesn't close at the interface. So that's kind of annoying, especially because it takes up the whole screen. Also, I noticed it seems quite possible to just like accidentally fall out of these rooms, then you can't go back in without having to go like all the way around again. So that seems pretty annoying. So wondering about this hole. I actually can't jump out of here. So I might be stuck and have to restart the game because I'm not getting out here. Ah, there we go. Nice. Okay, we don't have to restart. But yeah, I thought that was gonna like drop me down to the whatever's below me here, but it didn't work out that way. This person's really ticked off. See, I didn't actually mean to walk out here. You have a lot of inertia on the movement, which is generally not a problem because this isn't an action game. But in that particular case, it was really easy to just kind of keep going and walk off the ledge there. Alright, we got pale root plant here. Choi plant, however you pronounce that. I don't even know. It's kind of weird how it just got kicked over there. I don't know if that was a bit of a bug or something. Okay, we can use a broom as a weapon apparently. So I guess time is passing. I mean, it's nighttime, but I don't see anything changing up here. Maybe it's just very gradual. Everyone left except for this one person who got the room. So it makes sense. We kind of have to clean up all this crap, right? Again, I really don't like. Another thing is kind of going back and forth with like the mouse buttons and the E key. And I said I don't like, having to aim with your body when you use the mouse button, but it's also hard when you're using the E key because you can't use one of your fingers that you use for movement, which is like the D key in particular, because you have to take your index finger off to use the E, so it makes it hard to do it that way also. So yeah, it just makes sense to be able to aim actions with your mouse just whenever possible. So I don't know. I guess I have to physically go into every room to check if they're clean or not. And again, I really don't like how much geometry is kind of blocking everything. I'm wondering if it might be nice if there's some kind of indicator that, like UI thing that just showed, is that a curtain? Just showed kind of like all your rooms or something, like the state of them. So you don't have to physically walk into every one of them periodically to see if anything is dirty. Because I don't think there's any other way to know. So it might be nice, even if there's like something like that was on a wall somewhere here or something that just automatically updated itself to say like room X is dirty or something. Especially because like I don't know when anything is going to be dirty again. I don't know like what the length of time is going to be before that happens. So like the idea of like when do I have to go back in and check all these rooms, I don't really have any idea what that would be, so I just have to kind of guess, and then I might end up spending a lot of time, depending like how anal I get about it, like running through all these rooms over and over again while I'm trying to like cook people's orders and things like that. I don't really know how that works. It might just be, why is it paused? Did I pause it? I don't think I paused it. That's weird. But yeah, it might just be the kind of thing where you're meant to do it like at nighttime or something when the customers aren't there. I don't know. Let's go try something else here. This appears to be new. Now I kind of want to look to my left direction here, but I guess there's not anything there. It's just kind of a cliff face. It's sort of one of these things where it's kind of annoying when you have no camera control in this kind of case, because even if there's just like scenery or something, I kind of want to look over there, but that's not necessarily a criticism. It's just kind of okay, so there's nothing over there right now. I'm just kind of pointing that out, I guess. So yeah, that looks like it might be something like a cave that would have some monsters in it or something. It just isn't there yet. Which makes sense. Again, I don't like this stuff blocking my view. And it occurs to me that I mentioned before it's not an action game, but I guess there is going to be combat, so um, it'll be interesting to see how that works, because that's a whole other beast, for sure. So, like I mentioned, there's a lot of inertia. Generally, I consider that a bad thing for action games. Now what? I feel like this block hides a secret, but I guess not. It would be cool to find some secret things, like, you know, like in the Zelda games where they just hide little things in the towns and stuff. I can kind of jump up on this. Wait, oh, I can do that. Haha, I've got like speedrun strats. So what I can do is a little bit of a ledge in here that I can get on, and I can just kind of jump. I think it's because there's a little bit of a ridge there, but I think you kind of get around it because the inertia just kind of carries you around it. But all right, so there's some funny things you can do. It's all a little wonky, in that you can like fall off real easy again, but like this geometry is pretty kind of complex for like game interactions, you know. I kind of like the fact that I can get on the roof here because it just feels like I'm doing something I'm not supposed to. But like this is the sort of thing that you can make good use of, because like sometimes games will have things like that where you can kind of get into a place where you feel like you're not supposed to be able to get there, but then they'll like put like secrets up there or something to like reward you for it. So that always feels really cool when they do that. So if there's anything like that that you can do, even if it's just some sort of like a functional thing, like a trapdoor that is like a shortcut or something. I mean, as it is, you kind of just go through the roof and the walls and everything as it is. So, you know, that doesn't feel very secret-y, but that could be really cool. But kind of as I was mentioning, if you're going to do that kind of thing, it makes sense to make... It's weird how the camera got locked here. Okay. It makes sense to make the geometry here kind of work better with your movement and everything, at least predictably, because this is kind of weird. And I also don't know like when I'm just going to go through a wall or through a roof, and when I'm not, so that's kind of strange, but yeah, so we can plant things. I don't know if there's... I guess we just plant... Oh. Wait, what? Right button. Oh, okay. Right button. Again, there's not like any visual indication. I guess we have to water... I don't know how the time got paused. I don't know if that's something I triggered. It might be nice if... I mean, this is something that might not matter, but then again it might, and I don't know either way. But it's not super obvious, like when this is 100% watered. There's obviously a visual element there, but it's like... It's so gradual that you can't quite tell. So one thing you can do is you can make like a little particle effect or something, like when it gets fully watered, like just little sparkles that just, you know, just little tiny sparkles that just pop out real quick or something. Just a little ding that says, hey, it's watered, so you can move on, that kind of thing. So I don't know why it's paused. Maybe I just have to go to bed. I didn't think of that until now. So that might advance the daytime. Is there... Oh, okay, there's more area over here. I'm guessing this doesn't lead anywhere. It's just gonna like have me going off into the abyss. Okay, so go ahead and do this. Plus 26p. Alright, it's still paused, it says, but it's the next day. Well, in any case, I think we're gonna have to wrap this up. I think I've about seen everything I need to. Obviously, I didn't do much of the cooking, but I think I kind of got an idea of how it works, and um, having tried it last game and everything. So I think that's kind of what it's going to boil down to so far, is that you can clean, you can cook for all your customers to earn the money, you can plant. Oh, I can actually physically block that guy. You can plant things for your raw ingredients, which is kind of nice because you get very fresh ingredients for your in the cooking and stuff. And then I guess there's going to be some kind of battling or whatever. So it's a little straightforward when you kind of break it down like that, but for sure it's very cool so far. Obviously very promising. Looks like there's a bunch of fish out here, so you can fish too. So yeah, and here's a place where you can't see, so I can't get into this room. Okay, maybe that was like an intentional little shortcut that the developer put there. See, when I was back here, that's another thing that's kind of annoying, the triggers for the camera, because like right now I can see, but if I come from the other direction I can't. So, but in any case, yeah, so I really like this. I think there's a lot of stuff that can be improved clearly, but for the most part, the game just kind of has a nice feel to it, and I like how simplified the systems and everything are, especially since there's like so many different things you can do, and most of the things are real kind of snappy and simple, and everything just kind of feels nice. So definitely very cool feeling game, and I hope that the developer keeps working on it and polishes up real nice, because I think it's going to be something that's going to end up being a lot of fun. So yeah, hopefully this was useful. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next video.